Hi everyone, Thomas signing in for a new video. In this video I will discuss a matter on which Muslims usually claim the truth of Quran lies, that it's from a real God and not from a man-made, it's not a man-made story, etc. It's so-called scientific information or miracles. There are different claims from these apologists and you probably know many of them. What I will going to do is to make some videos on some popular claims and see the reality behind these claims. I can assure you even now that there is no science in the Quran, but it is only a claim, or is there any reality behind it? We will see shortly. Quran is not a book of science, hence Muslims try to find science in it. I laughed every time, for example, when I heard an Indian Muslim apologist, Dr. Zakir Naik, try to find science in the Quran. It's sometimes so funny that when he said many times that Quran is not a book of science, rather a book of signs, S-I-G-N-S, but then contradict himself and try to find science in the very same book, which according to him not a book of science. If you look Quran carefully, you will notice that its language is extremely vague. It's basically a book of poetry written in the poetic style, but it's at the same time very confused book as well. It seems that the author was not sure what he was saying or writing in it, or what he said earlier. I will basically discuss only 2 points in this video, as due to the time restriction. Both claims of Muslim apologists are well known and usually presented proudly by them. One is the so-called miracle of iron, and other that the Allah, the God of Islam, actually created everything in pairs. Let's examine both claims from Quran and from Muslim apologist claims. In one of the Muslim apologist site, www.miracleofquran.com, we see the following statement, and I quote: "Iron is one of the elements highlighted in the Quran. In Sura Al-Hadid, meaning iron, we are informed." Now this is from chapter 57 verse 25, and it says, "And we also sent down iron, in which there lies great force, and which has many uses for mankind." Now basically what this article says is that in this verse of Quran, Allah said that He sent down the iron. Oh, not only the iron on earth, but also the iron in the entire solar system comes from outer space. Since the temperature in the sun is inadequate for the formation of iron, the sun has a surface temperature of 6,000 degrees Celsius and a core temperature of approximately 20 million degrees. Iron can only be produced in much larger stars than the sun, where the temperature reaches a few 100 million degrees. When the amount of iron exceeds a certain level in a star, the star can no longer accommodate it, and it eventually explodes in what is called a nova or a supernova. These explosions make it possible for iron to be given off into space. All this shows that iron did not form on Earth, but was carried from supernovas and was sent down, as stated in this verse. It is clear that this fact could not have been known in the 7th century when the Quran was revealed. End of the quote. Wow, that's pretty airtight, right? Solid scientific information in the Quran, if Muhammad really meant that. Wow. But was it the case? Was Muhammad even aware of the fact in 7th century? I don't think so. You know, the confusion of these Muslim apologists is that Muhammad used words like sent down in this text. In Arabic it's mean anzalna, translated as sent down, meaning that Allah literally sent down this iron from somewhere in the space. Wrong conclusion. At this anzalna or sent down is used in the Quran from whole sorts of other things like rain, even for the Quran and for the scriptures and for angels, etc., etc. There are so many things that Muhammad's God sent it down that you can easily understand what he was thinking. Let's say iron came down from heavens to earth and it's a scientific miracle of Quran. But what you say when same word has been used for things like clothing in the Quran? Yes, my dear friends, Allah even sent down clothes for humans from heaven. In chapter 7 verses 26, Muhammad said, "O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you clothing to cover your shame, and clothing for beauty, and clothing that guards against evil, that is best." This is of communication of Allah that they may have mindful. Now, can these Muslim apologists explain us this scientific miracle? Allah sent down the clothing to cover our shame. Now that is a scientific miracle. If you say no, here clothes are just came from heavens, then why you are not came from the heaven, then why are you insisting that iron came from heavens? Double standards and misleading people by making the wrong interpretations and trying to find just anything miraculously to tell the world that Quran contains science in it. It's a totally useless attempt. Now, one other important error in the Quran, when Allah or Muhammad said, apparently in chapter 51 verse 59, which says, and I quote, and of everything we have created pairs, that you may receive instructions. And of everything we have created pairs? Oh really? Let's see how truthful this statement actually is. To make a claim about everything is always bold, and indeed only Allah will ever be able to make claims about everything, since such claims need omniscience. But wait a second, hold on a minute and take a deep breath. Everything in pairs? There is a whole group of fungi, which do not have sexual cycles. All are related to sexual species but do not reproduce sexually. Many have rather complex mechanism, parasexual cycles to allow genetic recombination, but they are not based on meiosis and gametic fusion as into true sex. Your best place to start to find out about them is in the good introductory texts such as the Fourth Eddy of Alexopoulos, Mims and Blackwell. This is the Wiley 1996. This will point you to the specific organism that fulfills the criteria you are looking for. Now, group of organisms which do not practice sex or have unisex organs, not in the pair, like fungi imperfecti. This is a group of mushrooms which don't produce gametes and therefore cannot be put in a certain taxon. Another crucious member in this European population of Eludia. All plants here are of the same sex and can therefore only use vegetative amplification. Wow! Could it be that Allah is wrong, and wrong in so many cases? Or could it be that one who was wrong here was not God? Maybe Muhammad was a good observer of the world around him, but he was not omniscient. And it shows in the above that other contradictions collected here or in the Quran, which are so apparently visible to everyone. If you have any feedback or you have any comments on these clear-cut contradictions and misquotations and false information, then feel free to express yourself. If you are a Muslim and think that I put something wrong, jump in, be my guest and make counter claims. Though case is difficult for you, but who knows. I thank you all for listening and peace be with you all.